Hey everyone, thank you for joining Archangel Alts, here with Gordon the Free Man. Gordon Freeman, leading other peoples to be free in the crypto revolution. So perfect time for a market watch, doing an instant insights update because Binance did what they called would be an 8-hour upgrade to the website. And so here we are right as it's returning. And Bitcoin did a nice little spike right at the top of things. So I'm going to start at the start. With all these BCHs in the lineup, I always have trouble finding. Okay, there we go. Very nice. So from 38.26 to 38.81, and we have $123 million in 24-hour volume measured in USDT Tether. So things are pretty active right now. I like it when it kind of kicks back in. People are always nervous, was my coin going to drop? Is what's going to happen? Usually it does actually pretty well when it comes back in. Look at GRS, my goodness. I think that my advice here, in general would just be the same thing for any of these ENJ, THETA, anything that's getting pumped. These are definitely pumps. It may appear to be an exact synchronization with Bitcoin, but when the volume is like this, it has an advantage of extreme liquidity. It can move in and out of, moving money back and forth very, 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 very quickly. So just be cautious, because once it's done pumping, it's going to drop. And you'll see something along the lines of 30,000 go down to 8,000, down to 1,000 very quickly. So you just have to be very, very careful. So instantly we have, there was actually only about 20% in the green before the upgrade, and there was about 5 that were sitting neutral, and everything else was in the red. So that's already shifted to just about dead on 50-50. And once again, it's not a full-blown way to measure everything, because if something was extremely high and then in the next 24 hours it only maintains there, it's not going to look like it's doing as well. But maintaining that would be a really big deal, and just the opposite would be true. So something was extremely low. Hey, there we go with ENJ again. Very, very cool. I like seeing that. Good. Anytime there's some natural movement when things get kicking back in, it's got almost 6,000 BTC 24-hour volume. That's really nice. So ENJ will be coming up from there pretty soon. See, isn't it nice to check things that are in the red just as much as anything else? BTT, oh, you silly. Yeah, not the greatest thing. Raven, happy to see what you're doing. Very good. Wow, look at that. Quite the spike. So we're going to have to go back through and check all of our positions and do a tried and true update whenever we can. We've cleared a few things. Been so busy with the website and getting all the content up, and then we had some pretty heavy trading, but just the hours have been really crazy, so we're gonna be pumping things up. So it looks like IOST is trying to get back in the game there. It did about a 3-point spread there. Very cool. So a lot of times with this, if you're feeling adventurous, you can jump right in. I personally think it's good to watch it level out a little bit and then get into your more predictable type moves. That's just me. So wave's starting to fall down a little bit again, but that means that it's got room to make it up to the 70,000, 7,100, or 71,000, depending on which way you look at it. Over here, we would see from 6,700 to about 7,100. But you can see that it's actually compensating for 1 extra decimal space. Singles, 422 is not too bad for singles. Yeah, okay. Nice. It's pretty good for ONT. TNT is still holding. That's good. Wow. Yeah, that was very short-lived pump there. That's why we cleared our TNT position, though. That makes sense. Makes sense. Where does Steam... Wow, Steam just jumped down there, didn't it? So we still have a 1500, I believe, to clear on Steam. And then one like extremely high one that's like intentionally set for whenever it pops, so we can get a good percentage off of that. You know, I may not go in and out of positions on Steam a lot. So we've got some that were, you know, set to where when it's the right time, it will earn us a larger percentage. I like to put those every once in a while here and there. Encash is another one we've done that with. Not a lot of mid and long term intentionally, but when we do it a little bit, you know, we have a little bit extra circulation. We'll do that just to take advantage of it. So INS is looking like it's headed for, I would say it can probably make it to about 725, maybe 730. Most likely. TNT's going up. You go, TNT. Do your thing. Okay, well, you got a little bit to go. Okay, I understand. And of course, you know, we see this, so, you know, this was that little bubble of excitement with the market getting kicked back up again. It's actually been a while since we've seen this, so it was kind of fun. Sometimes I like to jump right in, but it really depends on just like how many things I'm actually protecting in the process, not just what we have circulating. Don't expect to see a ton from Key. At some point, it's going through the 70s, maybe higher. Poe is having a little bit of a jump. That's kind of cool. Just be careful because we don't know how long the smaller coins can maintain that kind of thing. BT's really plowing through the positions, but you know, keep in mind it was trying to push for the 3950s and was not able to hold there long. Why? Because the volume was dropping. That's right. See, you've been listening. So really cool with TNT. In fact, I might have to switch over to trading pretty soon. Yep. OST. Number of the beast. I ain't there yet. Yo. MTV Raps coin. Not exactly, but see, I like seeing that people are in the game, moving. This is good. These are good signs. That's what you want to see. See? And all the way up here, too. Grrrs. Pretty amazing. So I expect to see something in this slot constantly circulating and recirculating. I hope that is the case. I'd like to see that be the case. So now I want to look just kind of going through alphabetically to some of the ones that we check the most. Yo-Yo is still doing some really interesting stuff there. So keep an eye on that if you're interested in moves in like 3 or 4 points. That's all it needs to do. XLM has been in the news a bit, but it looks like it's really pretty much doing the same, you know, spiky patterns that others have been doing. 6,800. So lots of movement happening here. I mean, it wouldn't have been such a terrible thing to go from down here all the way up to around here. So pretty cool. TNT still, it's coming down a little bit. Hopefully that wasn't all. Okay, thanks guys. We'll see you next time at the Frog Pond Lounge here at the Holiday Inn. Just kidding. So THETA's still got a little bit of movement. It is 3,300 BTC 24-hour volume, and that is fairly significant compared to what we've seen in recent months. So volume has been really low, and things have been fairly slow for a long time now. So Steam, I mean, 1,300 is pretty normal, pretty strong. We want to see it in the 15s. Taken back just to see how far it's come. I mean, this was, you know, in the 8,000s to the 12,000s, 13,000s. That would have been interesting right down there, wouldn't it? That's like a 8x growth up there. Pretty crazy. Doesn't happen all the time, but if you lay those little mines like way, way, way low on some of this stuff, you can get in some good positions. Raven. Everybody loves Raven. I mean Raven. 1180 for Raven. That's pretty cool. So I want to see if it was 800, 900 that it made it up to. And that was going back to 3.7. Crazy, crazy, crazy. REQ, that's pretty normal for now. Nothing fantabulous. Yeah, I mean, it's really, it's going to be the ones that I think that come around at some point. Ren has already had a little bit of upward movement here. So, I mean, obviously we can see it higher. Going to the longer picture, you can see boom, 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 boom. There's a little bit of a valley there. Let's see where our hard fork. Oh, it was before that, wasn't it? Yeah, boy, they picked the wrong time. Actually, if they had waited right until about just a few days before Christmas to launch, they actually would have seen some. Their entire market would be different if they had. But they didn't know. None of us would know. I can look back and say it easy, but I wouldn't have known to tell them that. Yeah. Is time good, yeah? How? So this is just tracking with Bitcoin, doing what it's doing. Bitcoin, did, several million in volume, but that didn't make a tremendous change once the spike was done. So, if it can maintain this range, is still above the average I've been saying that it needs to be able to hold. And if it can hold that without dropping too far below 80 million, then that'll be good for the next leg from there. It's a slow move. It's a slow crawl when these guys running the projects really could do something to make some serious earth-shaking, earthquake-moving type activity. Mana has been fairly interesting. Sometimes you don't have to have just, gobs of volume in order to do interesting stuff. You want to see more of these longer candles. We'll kind of go into that in some of the more advanced teachings. So many things to watch out for. IOST maybe getting in a low enough range to where it'd be interesting to go back in. Do I have the heart for something that takes more than a day? I don't know. It depends on what other stuff is doing. GRS, you're coming down some? No, we're in alphabetical order. Look at that, 168%. Crazy. So I guess we'll have to do a dive on that, see what's going on. Fun is one closer to 200. We need it in the 200s. That's really where it's going to start to show that it's strong. So it came pretty close in January. So hard fork was, yeah, I mean, it's so funny because, things were actually starting to level out, and this really could have been the change of a pattern. So much of this stuff, this really shook people's confidence. It's kind of amazing. But yeah, right around here, it's just not that big of a deal. September is not that long ago where it was way stronger. Look at the volume in there. That's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Takes a lot for some of these smaller coins. All right, so Fuel, what you doing? We were working this when it was having its fun up here. And, sorry, the threes. Yeah, 323 was the peak there. That was the total peak? I thought there was another one. There was not another one? So that's the recent one. In fact, it's so interesting. This whole trajectory really looked like a continuation of a third spike, but it's not time for it yet. So I'm still curious, if this was around 300, this was around 320, the next one could be around 340-ish. Very well could be. It depends on what the rest of the market is thinking too, though. So I like that it's not coming in, still dropping from 70 down into the 60s. Ethereum, falling a little bit short from Bitcoin. I mean, you can see some of the spike here, but where Bitcoin is just coming up smaller, like it's doing just small moves up in this angle, Ethereum's already falling back down a little bit. So it's in a little bit of a negative correlation. I mean, the volume overall is pretty smooth, pretty even. It's just, it is not the monster of the coin that it really could be and should be. So that's just, I mean, I hate to say it, Vitamin, but Vitalik, brilliant guy, amazing guy. Glad that he is doing what he's doing, but audience could kind of use some marketing help to really stir things up. So this is a fairly good movement for Engine. I do think that it was a little bit of a pump hype. I'm glad that it's doing what it's doing. Not that the pump was a terrible thing for them to get exposure. It definitely worked. In fact, I mean, I don't know what kind of trouble people could get in retrospectively, but not a bad marketing tool if you kind of say, hey, would you guys mind pumping this when we release some information about Samsung and Unity 3D and all that kind of stuff? I'm just saying. I'm not even going to mention BTT this time. If you don't know what I think about it, ask me. BNB has been increasingly kind of pushing for what they're saying would be an overtaking of Ethereum's position. They've been proving that they can do it, but I mean, it's press spotlight type stuff. Binance has been at this for a while. The coin has been doing the same thing it's been doing. It's just, gradually getting into its own now. So I think it's more about the volatility, how much it goes up and down, more than it is about whether it can beat out this coin or that. So let's all try to be of the mindset that we want to see all good projects succeed. Even if they're small, even if they're not going to change the world with their project, if they're not crooks, we want to see them succeed. This market, doesn't need 3,000 or 4,000 good coins, but it certainly does need 300 or 400 good coins. And, the best of the best will rise to the top, of course. But what we want is liquidity, and there are going to be times where some things are down and other things are up. And, unless you want to have just huge gaps of lull time where things are just super, uber, mega slow, then, you want to see a healthy market. Mass adoption equals liquidity, folks. We want to be leaders in the crypto revolution. Free man leading people out of the dark into the light through the freedom of decentralized cryptocurrency. Yo. AGI kind of saying like, you know what? I'm going to go this way. So here's the most recent on here. It's about 240 BTC. That's actually kind of high for it. So that's fine. And ADA is interesting. It's been up, it's been down. It's been left, right, and all around. This is kind of a classic movement in here through, less than a month ago, just past couple of weeks. This might actually be a harder climb up. This is kind of the same thing that we're looking at for what I was talking about with fuel. Whether the third one is on the way or not. I mean, it looks like it's faltering a little bit, but it's kind of a repeat of what it did these like 3 or 4 days. So maybe 350s in the future, possibly. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. So one last look at the, well, okay, you know what? Need to cover LTC. I'm going to try to get in a better habit of covering the ones that people expect. LTC. Light. Point. So, pretty predictable movement. It looks like a pretty hard spike there. Yeah, that's good. It's exactly what Bitcoin's doing. What's your guess on XRP? Exactly what Bitcoin is doing? No, just the opposite of what Bitcoin is doing. Okay. Literally an exact negative correlation. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. gosh, it's almost like people sold their XRP to Bitcoin immediately. Something thereof hitherto. Very, very cool. It is good, yes. I like to see the movement of the coins. Alright guys, so that is basically where we are with the market watch. A bit of a pop right after it came out of the system upgrade. They said not update but upgrade. So looking pretty good. Bitcoin is at 126,350,000 24-hour volume, measured in dollars as measured by Tether, USDT. And Bitcoin is currently 3884. And we'll see if it maintains that 3850 average over all this as it evens out. I would love to see this just continue to pick up. That'll be great if this is just a spiking process going on, in which case I will be working on admin and doing some trading, and we'll catch everybody up with that. So should be an exciting couple of days coming up. I'm hoping, it was starting to get into a little bit of a lull there, and the timing actually ended up working really well for them to do their maintenance, do their upgrade, whatever the upgrade was. And now we're ready to rock, ready to roll. So hopefully no glitches in there. Still kind of watching. I mean, I don't know if it's enough volume for Ren, but this has been, nice movement so far. I like the fact that there's not a whole lot in every position. You want the right blend of what it's worth, how many positions it's got to do, and how much volume it's got. Not that, volume is created by the trades that people are making, but the thing is that everybody's watching for the same indicators, so they're going to be hesitant unless there's a lot of movement already happening. So that's why there's always a snowballing effect. If people are buying in quicker and quicker, other people will jump right in. That's just the nature of the game. So if you are in singles right here, then you should be happy here. Yep. Can keep going through this stuff, but it's going to be pretty much the same thing. It's going to level out a bit, I would imagine, and then a few things might pop. So we're going to keep an eye on that. And I am getting some new lesson plans prepared for you, and getting site admin stuff together so that things, obviously we're rolling out daily video, so it's growing pretty quickly. So I've got the playlists updated. I've got the description stuff for all those updated. You should be able to find your way around and share them with others very easily now. Getting the lesson plans organized, so those will be pinned to our group, which you're going to go and join if you haven't already. Yeah. Subscribe, ring bell, comment, thumbs up. You'll go to link in description to join Archangel Alts. Yes, you do this. It is good for you, yes. And I think that's it for now. Happy trading. Look forward to seeing you guys soon on the trading floor. Yo. And I will have some extra lesson plans ready. There's so much happening in the news. I'm really having to just decide which things take priority. Doing a news once or twice a week just, doesn't make sense at this pace. We try to catch things as they're happening, and especially covering specific coins to kind of give some background on them. It's pretty easy to find the information, but it takes a while to go through it. And, you want to make sure that what you're covering is accurate. So I'm trying to hit all of those things that everybody's asking for. And so far, so good. It just, whatever I get done, there's going to be those 3 other things that haven't quite gotten done yet. And I'm trying to lean pretty heavy towards the free stuff right now, since we're building our subscribers for the first time. So God bless you guys. I will see you soon. For now, Archangel Alts. Archangel Alts out. I muted myself. Bye.